and the other ones. Here's how it looks. All right, so you're live right there. Can you see yourself again?
Yes, I can.
All right, so you're live. Let me give you this one. This is your mic.
Okay.
This is your mic for Instagram. There you go.
Where should I
The mic's for, you just put it on your tie right there. Yeah. The mic's for everything else is back here. All right, guys.
How's that?
Looks good. We look perfect right there. You see
Oh,
us?
yeah?
Yeah, man.
Okay.
I look pretty handsome with my Lego shirt, guys, right there. Lego.com. If you
Lego.
go to Lego.com, you go there, you go to my website. All right. Hosted Biz Live, guys, back with great guests as always. Guys making the difference in the community. This guy's been getting awards left and right. I'm waiting for him to get the Grammy or the Tony or the Oscar because he's been getting awards left and right, which means he's one of the active members here in the city of Santa Ana and Orange County. Gabriel Orozco. Somos hasta parientes, se me hace. Porque mi mamá es Orozco, de Zacatecas.
Oh, sí, mi familia es de Sinaloa y Michoacán.
Sinaloa y
Pero I
Michoacán.
love Zacatecas.
Yeah, for
It's
sure.
Beautiful Zacatecas.
Thanks for coming in.
Thank you for having me, Luis. I
Show your
appreciate
shoes, man. Mira.
that.
Míralo.
Let me see.
All right.
All right. Thank you.
Yeah, of course. Hey, Gabriel. So let's talk about quién es Gabriel. Who's Gabriel? Where'd you grow up? What'd you do? First of all, how do you end up in Santana? Whatever you want to share, whatever you want us to say. I always tell people, tell us a little bit about who you are, and then obviously we're going to go into what you're doing now.
Thank you, Luis. I appreciate that, and thank you for having me as a guest.
Sure.
And good evening, everyone. My name is Gabriel Orozco. I was born in East LA. My family came over as immigrants. My dad was born in Mazatlan, Sinaloa. He came over to the United States at the age of 17 and started washing dishes at a Thrifty's cafeteria. After that, he started going to East LA College, getting his transferable courses, and then he ended up going to Cal State LA, where he graduated with an electrical engineering degree.
Nice.
My mom comes from Morelia, Michoacan, and so she came over also at the age of 17 on a student visa, and she started working different jobs. But that's where my parents met. When my dad was in East LA College, and so together we got a house in East LA. But once my dad got hired in the aerospace industry in Downey in the 1980s, where the aerospace industry was thriving in Downey, they moved us to a house in Downey, which was for me a culture shock because I was raised in a very small house in East LA, and next thing you know, I'm going to a 4-bedroom, 4-bath home in Downey. And that's when I really learned that education is very important, and what the power of education does, but also to the teamwork that my parents did, their sacrifices, because my mom was always working. At the time, she was working driving a van to take senior citizens to the hospital. But in the 80s, having two incomes was something that was yes, absolutely. Having two incomes was something that was really great. And then my mom decided to open Orozco Family Daycare, which she owned and operated for over 35 years. And so that's a little bit of the history about my parents. So I'm half Sinaloense, half Michoacano.
Immigrants.
Yes,
immigrant story.
Immigrant story, absolutely. And then for me personally, I'm the oldest of four. There's Gabriel, there's my sister Gabriela, and there's my younger sister Hilda, and my younger brother Caesar. Gabby, I'm not sure if I mentioned Gabby. She's on the California State Board of Education, Department of Education. She's on the board of directors. She's been a teacher for over 25 years. Again, the education being central to our family, being something that thanks to our parents and our sacrifices, that we've been able to carry on. And then my sister, she's an Air Force veteran. And then my younger brother Caesar, he works for Access AEG. It's one of the largest ticketing platforms. But all four of us are college graduates, which makes us second-generation college graduates. Nice. And so, born in East LA, I actually, why did I come to Santa Ana? I came to Santa Ana because I found meaningful work working for the Santa Ana Federal Credit Union. When the opportunity arose for working in business development for the credit union, I saw that there was an opportunity to connect the financial institution that's been around for 76 years now. This year, we're celebrating our 76th year, and being able to expand our footprint in the community, especially within the Hispanic community.
Of course,
the Hispanic community has been growing, and that's something that we really wanted to connect, because at the end of the day, there was a lot of people that did not know what the difference was between a credit union and a traditional bank. And so it's going to be in July. It's going to be 2 years, and I really love Santa Ana. I mean, it's a beautiful city. There's a lot of great organizations here. So it's been a total pleasure working being here in Savannah.
For sure. Now I know you played a little baseball too, huh?
Oh yes,
Tell them the baseball story, because I'm a base. You can tell I'm a baseball guy, basketball guy, sports guy.
yes.
So tell them a little about your baseball
Thank you,
career.
Lisa. I appreciate that. So when I mentioned East LA College, after I graduated from Warren High School, I actually ended up going to East LA College as a walk-on as a starting pitcher, and we in 1991, 1992, we actually broke the school record for wins, and then we went to the playoffs, and then in the best out of three playoffs, I actually pitched the deciding game, Game 3, and we beat Long Beach City College in the playoffs to go to the regionals. We ended up losing in the regionals, but that opened got a lot of attention from scouts. And although I wasn't drafted by any major league team, I was actually recruited to go play in Mexico City con los Tigres de Mexico,
Nice.
which is one of the Yankee organization of Mexico City. I had, they say I had a cup of coffee. I had a café, una taza de olla, because it was a short stint. It was I got to play in el Estadio Seguro Social, which is the cathedral of baseball in Mexico.
Oh, wow.
That's just where we shared that stadium con los Tigres, con los Diablos Rojos de Mexico. So living in Mexico City was something that was new, and it was amazing because I got to compete with the best players pretty much around the world. And the only thing is that the altitude was a little bit challenging, because I noticed that a lot of boxers go to the high altitude to train,
Right.
so that their lungs get expanded. So when they come down to sea level, they're like in great shape. So, but for me, not only did I experience a little bit of I felt like I was out of shape because I felt like I was running against the wind, but also my curveball wouldn't break as much because of the altitude. And of course, a lot of home runs were hit because it's like almost like Colorado, like the
Okay.
Colorado Rockies.
When the air is dense,
Yes.
not dense, but it's thin.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, the thing is, the ball flies.
Flies
Yeah,
out.
the ball flies. And then from then, I got to play with los Industriales de Monterrey. I got Leones de Yucatan. I ended up playing with los Tiburones de Puerto Peñasco.
Oh, nice.
So I got to play, like I said, again, a cup of coffee, professional baseball. But that was a great experience
Wow.
as a starting pitcher.
Mhm.
And now I pass that on to my nephews and their friends. So now I mentor young players on pitching techniques, conditioning, but more importantly on the emotional intelligence of the sport. Baseball is a game of failure, and if you don't have resiliency, determination, and a short memory in order to kind of forget those the defeats, to continue to push on. That's one of the biggest things that I learned. That you can. It's better to work as a team. You get things done better together. And so for me, I just have nothing but positive memories that I try to pass that on to today's youth.
Yeah.
And actually, my younger nephew Joaquin got a full ride scholarship to go play as a starting pitcher
Okay.
to go play at Whittier College.
Oh, nice.
And so that was one of the sweetest things for me, is being able to come back to the game through my nephews. And that's why I thank God. What an amazing God we have for him to bring me back to the game of baseball as mentoring, and being able to go get back in the game and give back to the game.
That's for sure. 162. I mean, that's a lot of baseball, like in the major leagues.
Yes.
And like you said, it's a lot of failure. Maybe one night you go 0 for 4, and you're thinking, what's going to happen the next day? And maybe you go 3 for 4 that day, and it's a progress, because there's not a lot of, especially nowadays, there's not a lot of 300 hitters anymore.
100%.
Yeah.
In fact, in the National League, I think last year they only had one hitter hit
Yeah,
over 300.
there's not too many.
Yeah.
It's one of those things. If you think about it, a 300 hitter is actually a good player. That means out of 10 times he went up, he only got 3 hits.
Yeah, he failed
He
7 out of 10
failed
times.
7 times.
Failed 7 out of 10
Yeah.
times. So in baseball, if you're a hitter and you fail 7 out of 10 times, you're in the Hall of Fame.
Yeah.
That's the way baseball is, how
Right.
difficult it is. They say that the hardest thing to do in sports, and some say, or in my opinion, I should say, is to hit a round ball with a round bat.
Right.
I think the second hardest thing to do is strike out professional baseball hitters.
Mm.
It's just very difficult. So being able to go against, as a starting pitcher, going up against 9 hitters and being able to be successful,
Mhm.
it's a very hard task, just because these professional hitters they pick up on everything.
Yeah.
You can't tip your pitches. They're always looking for
They're watching.
advantages.
Yeah.
But yes, back to your point about baseball being a game of failure, and such a difficult sport. So there's a lot of lessons to be learned when you walk off the field, because teamwork, resilience, and determination.
For sure. And that's you've been at the credit union, switching back to
Yes,
the credit union,
please.
a couple of years.
Yes, it's going to be in July, coming up in a couple of weeks. It's going to be 2 years.
2 years.
Yes.
But tell us a little bit about Santa Ana Credit Union.
Mhm.
You said it was been around 74 years, 75 years?
76 years.
76
we just
years.
celebrated our 75th anniversary
Nice.
last year.
Okay.
So we're 76. We were going on 76 years. And one thing I can tell you, Luis, about the Santa Ana Federal Credit Union is that a lot of people do not know the difference between credit unions and traditional banks.
Tell us what it is.
Yes.
Tell us what the banks do and some of you guys have Wells Fargo, Bank of America, all that, but there's a credit union. So let's talk about the differences.
Thank you very much, Luis. So the difference is, in a basic explanation, is that credit unions are not for profit. Okay, they're governed by volunteer board of directors. In fact, our board of directors, one of them is maybe City Manager Alvaro Nunez.
Okay.
We also have Rudy Duarte from the Nicholas Academic Centers. We have Claudia Perez from the Santa Ana POA, Police Officers Association. Bob Steffens, just to name a few. But these executives volunteer their time to provide strategic direction. And what that means is that at the end of the day, all the profits and fees that the credit union collects are reinvested back into the membership. And that's why you'll see lower rates traditionally, lower rates on car loans, credit cards. Now, traditional banks, for example, they're just structured differently. What that means is that they have shareholders and investors. So at the end of the day, all the profits and fees that are collected from a traditional bank like Wells Fargo or Chase are in essence taken out of the community, and they go to a shareholder, and he might live in New York. And so he can do whatever he wants with that money. It's his money. And he can buy a bigger house, he can buy a bigger car, and then he'll come back to the bank and say, you know what, we need more profits. What have you.
I need a bigger house, I need a nicer car.
They're just structured differently. For example, also all credit unions have a different story. Schools First was founded by teachers.
Right.
So a lot of teachers said, you know what, we need to pool our resources, and that's when Schools First was founded. Postal workers pooled their money together, and they founded Eagle Community Credit Union.
Right.
The Santa Ana Federal Credit Union was founded by the city of Santa Ana employees, and that includes all the departments, including the Santa Ana Police Department. And then anybody that lived, worked, worshipped, or went to school in Santa Ana could participate. But this year, we removed that eligibility requirement that anybody can join.
So anybody, you don't have to be a resident of Santa Ana, you don't have to work for the city. Anybody can join.
Anybody can join, and typically we have to open up a savings account. It's only $5, but if you call me, I'll cover that $5 as a marketing cost.
Spot you $5?
Yes, I will spot you the $5. And what we're trying to do is be more inclusive. Bring equity and inclusion to banking services. So that is one way that what separates us from other credit unions is that Schools First, they tailor their products to teachers.
Right.
Eagle Community tailors their product to what they know what postal workers need.
Right.
So what we do is we tailor our products to the community. So we bring financial solutions to the needs of the community. Nobody knows our community more than the Santa Ana Federal Credit Union. We're a local financial institution. And so we are looking to spread the word to come and join the Santa Ana Federal Credit Union, to become a member, first of all. If there's no cost to it. And next thing you know, whenever you have a financial need, you have any things that you might need, you can come to us for solutions. And you can always contact me directly.
Cool. So his phone number, guys, is scrolling down here at the bottom of the Facebook, the LinkedIn, and the YouTube. But on Instagram, we don't have that feature. So give me your phone number right there, Gabriel, so they can reach out to you if they have any questions.
Thank you, Luis. I'm always available. You can reach me at my work mobile, and that is area code 657-532-9723. Or you can also email me at G for Gabriel. My last name is Orozco with a Z, at safcu.org.
Nice. You told me we were speaking earlier. You told me you have some great rates on cars.
Yes.
And used cars, new cars, you have all these rates. So tell me a little bit about that.
Well, thank you very much, Lisa. I appreciate that. And I'm not trying to sell here, but I'm just going to be providing information.
This is information.
So that you can make informed decisions.
This is what we do at OC Biz. We give people information. Hey,
thank you.
Somebody wants to open up an account at the credit union.
Yes. So one of the very competitive products that we have is our car loans. Our car loan rates are as low as 3.99 for 35 months or less, and that is for a new, used, or refinance. So we are in essence trying to break barriers to transportation. So you are a student, you have a college student, or anybody that's looking to finance a car, as long as the car's not older than 10 years and 150,000 miles, that's some parameters to work with, you could get the same low rate as 3.99.
Nice.
Another rate is our credit cards. Our rates for credit cards are as low as 8.95, while everybody else is at 20%. They suffer
Yeah.
20%. So that's one of the big things that I wanted to also talk about, Luis, if I may, is that one of the problems that I'm seeing in the community is that there a lot of they're going to debt consolidation because they have high debt on their credit cards. And one thing about it is that I saw someone had a credit card rate at 28%. They owe $10,000, and this is one of the things that I teach in my financial literacy classes is that it's going to take them about 10 years to pay off that debt, and that's just with making the minimum payments, right? So, and then at the end, they're going to end up paying like $30,000 for that $10,000 debt. So, what we suggest is if you must carry a balance, and we always recommend that you pay off the balances before the 30 days is over. But if you don't have that flexibility and you want to be able to manage your debt a little bit better, maybe look into a lower interest rate card at a credit union. In this instance, the Santa Ana Federal Credit Union, where our rates are as low as 8.95, which will make a bigger difference because, say for example, you a $10,000 debt with a 28% APR, you make a 250 payment in January, 250 payment in February, 250 payment in March. At the end of 3 months, you have paid $750, and you pretty much owe the $10,000. Only $76 went to the principal.
Wow.
And so then that's why people cannot get out of debt or get ahead. And so conversely, with the rate as low as 8.95, same scenario where you end up paying $750 at the end of 3 months. Close to $600 goes to the principal as opposed to only $76.
$76. Wow.
So that's one thing that I'm trying to spread out to the community is that we are a not-for-profit local financial institution that has very competitive rates on car loans, credit cards, personal loans, even home mortgages. We're a full-service credit union, just like a typical traditional bank. So we also have CDs, share certificates, and our dividends on share certificates, I think they're up right now for 6 months are at 3.95. So at a credit union, you'll typically see higher dividends on saving tools like share certificates and lower rates on lending products like credit cards and car loans.
Okay. Wow, that's amazing. That sounds like a lot of stuff. And then you were telling me you also go out to schools and teach kids financial literacy, which doesn't really get taught in schools. I don't think we got taught that. I don't think they teach that now. So it's important to tell people. I was actually yesterday at Chapman University and I asked the kids, it was 13 kids, and I said, how many of you guys know how to write a check? And none of them raise their hand.
Right.
And they're all about the Zelle, the Venmo, and all that.
Yes.
But then how are you tracking what's going on? You're
Right.
not able to track that. So I know you also go to schools or you can come out to communities and teach people a little bit of financial literacy
Yes.
on what to do. So tell me a little bit about that.
Thank you, Luis, for that. I appreciate that. So, Luis, one of the challenges I had when I first started working at Santa Ana Federal Credit Union, and I take full ownership, is that I was leading with sales. I made the mistake. I was trying to pitch these great products. I just thought they were such a great rates. So I was going out and pitching car loans, credit cards. But when I realized that nobody knew what a credit union was, nobody knew what the different rates were. And also, too, nobody was really, my message wasn't resonating because, again, I was leading with sales instead of leading with service. So I had to regroup. And I said, you know what, I got to come up with a financial education department or financial literacy. And so I could go ahead and start spreading this message, letting them know what is the difference between a credit union, why are we able to give lower rates. And that's why I founded the financial education department with the Santa Ana Federal Credit Union. And of course, with the support of Jill Mahaney and all my colleagues there, that takes a team. So it's not just me by myself.
Right.
We all work together. But with this financial education, now I'm able to go, thanks to our partnerships with High School Inc., and then other partnerships with like the community centers. So I do financial literacy in English and in Spanish. And some of the topics I cover, of course, are making sure that people don't fall into credit card rewards traps. And if I could just talk about credit card rewards traps with people.
Yeah, that was interesting. The last time I heard you about that, I was like, man, those are interesting ones.
Yes. So credit card rewards trap, and you guys can Google it. It is a term. Is that when you see some credit card offers and it comes with like all the bells and whistles in the top, telling you could get 100,000 bonus points or cash or bonus points and dining, what have you. And then in small print, it has like the APR, which is 28%. And then it has another small print that says must spend $5,000 in the first 3 months to qualify for these. These are all things that are not conducive to saving. And so, and you could fall into a debt trap. So that's why they call it credit card rewards trap.
Mm.
So one of the things I always tell students during financial literacy classes is that whenever you're looking at a credit card offer, go rate shopping. And I ask them, well, where do we go rate shopping? I go, just like you go shopping for clothes, like you go shopping for anything else, you can actually start rate shopping. And where you find those rates are at any financial institution's website. There'll be a tab that says rates, and you can actually start comparing rates. And so what I tell them is like when you're looking at a credit card offer, don't look at the rewards first. Start looking at the rate first. You want to see what the APR is first, because one rule of thumb is if you get 2% cash back, but you're paying 28% APR in a month, the bank is still winning. So,
So winning, yeah.
So that's amongst many topics that I cover in financial education classes, and that has worked out well because as a result, I've been again leading with service, providing education, sharing this knowledge, and I'm trying to get to as many people as early as possible,
Yeah.
because a lot of young students do not know that how credit affects major life decisions.
Right.
And so as soon as they turn 18, I've seen some that get a car on their own, but then they miss a payment in January, they make it in February, they miss a payment in March, and they feel like they're being savvy because they're keeping the repo guy off, but they're not realizing that they're ruining their credit for the rest of their life. So I tell them right away, listen, credit is like access. So first, I tell them what principal is, what interest is. Interest is like a thank you fee for borrowing that money. So that's how I break it down. I go, listen, principal is the amount of money you borrow. So if I borrow $5 from you, Luis, that's the principal. But you say, Gabriel, I'll let you borrow the $5, but you got to pay me back $6 tomorrow. That extra $1 is a thank you fee. And that's how basic terms, how I explain it to students so they can capture this. And then if I say, can I borrow $20? You say, no, you can only borrow up to $10. That's my credit limit. And then if I say, you know what, if I pay you back on time, then obviously my trustworthiness score is good with you, and that's my credit score. So your credit score is something that all financial institutions share with each other when it comes down to pulling your credit report.
Mm-hmm.
And one missed payment, Luis, one missed payment on a credit card, on a car loan, stays on your credit report for 7 years.
Right.
And now it's an uphill battle for the next 7 years when it comes down to borrowing rates.
Mm-hmm.
If you go to apply for a car, you might have a higher interest, a higher thank you fee because you that missed payment, or it's going to be an uphill battle. Maybe you even get denied the loan because they're just not
you're not trustworthy.
You're not trustworthy, so your credit score is like being like very trustworthy. And then one thing I always tell students, if you want to look up your credit report, you can go to Experian.com and you can get a free credit report. There's a paid membership and a free membership. Just click on the free membership and you can monitor what your credit score is, and then also try to see what other accounts you have there, making sure that no accounts have been opened without your permission, so you prevent fraud. So go to Experian.com to get a free credit report.
There's a lot of identity theft out there sometimes.
Yes.
People come up and they don't know they have this debt on there, and people will borrow against her, and then they miss their payments. They don't make the payments.
Absolutely.
You're screwed. So yeah.
So that's a good way. Go to Experian.com, monitor your credit report. It doesn't affect your credit when you look up through Experian, but it's a good way to continue to monitor your report and monitor your credit score. Make sure that your score is going up. Sometimes, Luis, if I may, the only thing that may keep your credit score stagnant is credit utilization. So in the big pie chart of credit scores, 35% of your credit score is payment history. So don't miss any payments. Stays on your credit report for up to 7 years. But the other 30% of it is credit utilization. And what that means is that try to keep your balances low on your credit cards. Because if you have a $10,000 credit card, for example, and you have a $8,000 debt, you're at 80%.
80%.
So then when you're trying to borrow money somewhere else, they're going to see you're overextended. Mm-hmm. That maybe you can't handle another credit card because it has with a bigger balance. So ideally, you would have it at zero balance, right? Pay off everything before the 30 days is over. But if you must, try to keep a $10,000 credit card with a credit limit of $10,000 at under $3,000 because that's under 30%. And if you have a $1,000 credit card, try to keep the balances under 300. That'll keep your credit score elevated because it doesn't seem like your credit, you're not using all your credit.
You're not overextending yourself.
Yeah,
for sure. Wow, that's a lot of useful information.
Thank you for letting me pour into your community.
For the young people, I'm going to reach out to you and get you to go talk to AISS. We just had a meeting with them, and maybe have you been to AISS?
Yes, I met Debbie Wells and I
Uh-huh.
met Lemma recently at an event, and I think that that's a really great program they have.
Mhm.
Of course, my father was also STEM. He was an
Oh,
electrical
that's right.
engineer,
Yeah, yeah.
so one of the Hispanics in STEM. So that's very near to
Mhm.
and dear to us. So yes, I would love to join or anything you need from me to contribute to the community.
Yeah, because that's definitely something that they would need. A lot of these kids,
Mhm.
first generation, so they're not.
Yes.
This is the first time they walk into Chapman University where they're doing the classes,
Yes.
and then they're going to go to further. Do you know that at AISS we have a kid that is currently working for NASA?
Oh wow.
Yeah, that's how high up these kids go because they all want to be engineers. They all want to be biologists. They all want to be like I tell people when I'm in that room with those kids, I'm the dumbest guy in the room
Mhm.
because these kids are, they're
Yeah.
super smart.
And one of the things is we need to support them. I didn't speak about my academic journey. After I played baseball and I retired from baseball in 1999, or I was released, I went back to East LA College as an adult, and I got my transferable courses, and then I went to Cal State Dominguez Hills, where I got my undergrad in communications, and then I ended up going to USC, where I got my master's in communication management. So one thing about communications, and one thing that I incorporated in financial education classes, is that if you don't can't get the audience's attention in the first 10 seconds, you lose them.
Yeah,
And so everything I do is try to be very simple, concise, and not to have like and break down in the paragraphs.
on those big words.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
typically use really third grade language, and then try to keep everything at less than 25 words with a single subject. You have to be a
lose 'em.
ruthless editor, because then you will lose them.
Yeah,
So one of the things how I use my communications expertise into financial education is by making it plain and simple, in
Simple.
third grade language and easy
There's-
to digest terms.
there's a term. Have you heard the term KISS?
Keep it simple, stupid.
There you go.
Absolutely,
That's the way
that-
I see it too.
yes. You're so right.
Yeah.
You're 100% correct on that. That you have to, in a sense, you have to simplify, right?
Mhm.
And so the way I know that there's a lot of messages and words that you wish your community could get, but you have to be a ruthless editor, because at the end of the day, especially in today's digital times, where you can,
Oh, yeah.
you can the attention span is going to be like the first 10 seconds. So you got to keep it interesting, and then be relevant. All of my messaging is audience centric, which means at the end of the day that when I'm talking to people, I really don't like to talk about the credit union and how long we've been around. It's all about what can I do for you? What are more importantly, let me listen to you. What are your needs?
What do you need?
And then I'm able to tailor financial solutions, as opposed to when I first started working here. I was actually just pitching loans, and I was in business development. I was just trying to make a good impression. But what I realized is that, I got to be more audience centric. I got to listen. I have to know what the needs are of the community. And that's how I started the financial education department. I realized that the needs of the community were financial literacy, and nobody really knew what these terms were.
Sure.
So I try to get ahead of it, which, by the way, the state of California just released that they're going to make financial literacy a graduation requirement in 2031. So any senior that wants to graduate, they need to pass a personal finance class, but they're going to start incorporating this in 2027, 2028 as an elective. And from what I understand right now is that when these classes are offered to students, they get booked right away. Everybody wants to enroll in that class because they want to get ahead of it. And just to, to underscore the importance of having personal finance.
Right.
So we are right now early adopters of financial literacy, getting out there in the community. And I always try to keep it engaging too. I'll raffle gift cards to Chick-fil-A during a session. With anybody that raises a hand to answer questions that I have during the presentation, they qualify now too. At the end of the day, not a raffle, I like to call it an opportunity draw, because I want to be sure that I'm being
those terms
compliant.
You got to use. Yeah.
Yes, exactly. But again, at the end of the day, it's a great pleasure to be out there in the community and sharing this knowledge. And I'm really glad that the state is taking that initiative to also incorporate personal finance. And I understand that a lot of the credit unions, I collaborate. By the way, credit unions are a collaborative.
I was going to ask you that because I'm with the Orange County's credit union,
Mhm.
and I know that your ATM you can use at different ones because there's a co-op,
That is correct.
and you guys are part of that co-op, obviously.
Absolutely. So let's use the Santa Ana Federal Credit Union, for example. Say we only have one branch. Okay, it's located on Fifth Street. On Santa Ana Boulevard between Flower and Ross. Okay, and a lot of people used to come to the bank on a Friday, and there's no more foot traffic because now in the modern digital banking, you could do Zelle, you could transfer through your phone. So nobody really comes into the branch to get cash, right? However, when you do need cash, and the branch is, we are closed on weekends. We're only open Monday through Friday, 8 to 4. One of the things we've done is the credit union industry has done is whenever you go to, like say for example, you open a checking account with us, the credit union, and you want to take out money on the weekend, you can go to any other credit union where you see the co-op sign.
Right.
It's a CO. Co-ops is short for cooperativa, cooperative,
Mm.
and you can take out money free of charge. Or you can go to any 7-Eleven
Oh,
and take out money free of charge. And there's 7-Elevens nationwide,
everywhere.
everywhere.
Yeah, yeah.
So that's one of the things. So as a credit unions, one of the things that we try to level the playing field with traditional banks, because banks are really everywhere. They have that capacity. Is that we are a co-op.
That's really cool.
Pretty much, you can go to any 7-Eleven or any other credit union and take out money free of charge. And going back to the collaborative spirit that we have with the credit union, we also share the same slogan: people helping people. Imagine Nike shared the slogan with Reebok and just
Yeah.
do it. That's not a
That's not
cooperative.
it. Yeah.
For us, not only do we share like the credit union difference, people helping people. These are taglines that we use to show our collaborative spirit.
Right.
But we also, I collaborate with Schools First, their financial education department,
Okay.
and we do Bite of Realities, which is an interactive sessions. So there's really no competition; it's more collaborative.
Collaborating.
And
Mhm.
as you know, as being a community champion, when we work together, Luis,
Yes.
we accomplish more. We have more
course.
lasting impact.
Of course.
So as opposed to just doing things for ourselves.
Mhm.
So thanks to Shannon Workman and Bo Rodriguez over there at Schools First, we've been doing a lot of financial literacy classes together.
Nice.
As here in the San Ana Federal Credit Union, it's only just one of us, so that helps to have a big credit union
Mhm.
that's like Schools First
Yeah.
come in and they collaborate.
Right. Wow. That's amazing. That's something that there's a lot of things you've mentioned here that I wasn't aware of. I mean, especially the co-op with the 7-Elevens and all that. That's
Yes.
interesting because a lot of people are like, oh, it's gonna must hay un. There's only one,
Mhm.
Well, what they're gonna charge me so much over here, so much over there.
Right.
Are you cool with switching over to a little bit of Spanish?
Sure.
Yeah.
Yes.
So, tenemos hoy a Gabriel Orozco, que él es el que básicamente está en la comunidad con la Credit Union, Santa Ana Credit Union.
Sí.
So, Santa Ana Credit Union es una cooperativo. Vamos a dejar que nos diga exactamente la diferencia de qué es una Credit Union y un banco.
Gracias, Luis. Buenas noches a todos. En pocas palabras, Luis, para responder tu pregunta, la diferencia entre una credit union, la Santana Federal Credit Union, y un banco tradicional es de que el credit union es sin lucro. Que eso quiere decir de que todo el dinero que se colecta en esta credit union se regresa para atrás a la membresía. Los credit unions son member owned. Entonces quiere decir que una vez que uno es miembro del credit union, usted en pocas palabras es el dueño del credit union. Eso quiere decir de que estamos para servir a la comunidad y por supuesto va a recibir los intereses para los carros, tarjetas de crédito más bajo. Los bancos tradicionales son formados un poco diferente. Eso más quiere decir de que ellos sí son con lucro, ¿verdad? Todo el dinero que se colecta en un banco sale de la comunidad y se va a la gente que son shareholders, gente que invierte, ¿verdad? Y entonces la diferencia entonces de un credit union es que típicamente tienen los intereses para carros, tarjetas de crédito más bajo y también son más enfocados en la comunidad.
Mejores réditos también, obviamente, estamos hablando acerca de los réditos de las tarjetas de crédito, de los préstamos para carros. Son mejores réditos que recibes en una credit union comparado a un banco.
Sí, claro. Un ejemplo, Luis, que nosotros, como una credit union, okay, no podemos cobrar más de 18% por ley.
Okay.
Para tener nuestro not-for-profit status, en pocas palabras, sin lucro, no podemos cobrar para ningún producto más de 18. Por ejemplo, una tarjeta de crédito, nosotros empezamos, el interés puede ser tan bajo como 8.95, pero no va a subir más de 18. En las tarjetas de crédito en los bancos tradicionales empiezan en 22, 24%. Entonces es bueno de que siempre sepan cuáles son sus opciones, pero averigüen cuáles son los intereses con una credit union, porque esos credit unions, aparte de que, Luis, una cosa que no mencioné,
Uh-huh.
es de que nosotros estamos listos para servir a la comunidad hispana. una cosa que ofrecemos a nosotros, a la comunidad hispana, es de que si no tienen seguro social, aceptamos el ITIN.
Okay.
Entonces, y si no tienen licencia o ID de California, aceptamos matrícula mexicana.
Ah, okay.
Entonces, con una matrícula mexicana y el ITIN, pueden venir al credit union y abrir una cuenta de ahorros, y toda esa información es privada, nunca compartimos su información con nadie más. Y también hacemos préstamos de carro con personas que tienen el ITIN. Entonces, nosotros sabemos qué es lo que la comunidad necesita, y hacemos lo mejor, lo máximo para tratar de hallar soluciones para esas necesidades. Entonces, ese es un ejemplo de que averiguo los intereses a tener del carro. El porcentaje del interés para los carros es 3.99 por 36 meses. Ahora, si quieren 60 meses, sube como es un quarter percent, 4.14, pero pues esto ya es muy bajo. Otros, todos los demás a veces empiezan a 7, 8%.
Pero ahora también los carros los están haciendo hasta 7, 8 años, ¿no?
Sí, pues porque ahora las trocas que cuestan de las Ford F-150 Raptor están costando como 105,000, 120,000. Ahora ya el carro más barato, nuevo, te va a costar como $50,000. Entonces, ahorita más que nunca es muy importante hacer el research, ¿verdad? Investigar cuáles son los hay una palabra que dice para los intereses, las tasas de interés.
Las tasas de interés. Claro.
Entonces, pueden venir a visitarnos o pueden visitar el website, ¿verdad? Y a ver qué son las tasas de interés para carros, para tarjetas de crédito, para préstamos personales, y también hacemos home mortgage para préstamos de casa y home equity line of credits. Y ahora la última cosa es de que muchos no pueden ser parte de un credit union porque muchos dicen, ¿puedo ser yo parte de Schools First? No, porque nomás los maestros o los empleados de los distritos o los familiares, la familia puede ser. Igual con Eagle Community Credit Union tienes que ser un postal worker, tienes que ser cartero o trabajar para el post office, o ser alguien que es una relativa, un familiar, ¿verdad?
Un pariente.
Un pariente, exactamente. Con el Santana Federal Credit Union es para la comunidad, no, todos pueden participar.
Todos, cualquier persona, no importa, no tienes que vivir en Santana, puedes vivir en Tustin, Irvine, Fullerton, Buena Park, puedes ser miembro de la Credit Union aquí en la ciudad de Santana.
Y tú dijiste, Luis, Irvine no tiene su propio credit union, Anaheim no tiene su propio credit union, Santana tiene su propio credit union. Entonces, ¿por qué no usar los recursos que tiene la ciudad para la comunidad? Y también, aparte de las tasas de interés y todo eso, siempre estamos en la comunidad apoyando los centros de comunidad, dando clases de educación financiera. Pero en cualquier manera es una institución financiera que le pertenece a la comunidad.
Claro.
Y los dueños de esta institución son los miembros.
Los miembros. Sí. Y puedes abrir tu cuenta allí por $5.
Sí, pero si me hablan al número que está ahí o nomás pregunten por Gabriel Orozco, yo les pago los primeros $5. Entonces quiere decir que pueden ahorita en ese tiempo abrir una cuenta de ahorros sin nada de dinero fuera de su bolsillo. Yo pago los $5 y no hay cargos mensuales.
No hay cargos mensuales. Chequera tampoco.
Y con la cuenta de cheque, si quieren ganar una chequera, es gratis con su depósito directo de $500 o más. Quiere decir que lo pueden dividir. Pueden agarrar un cheque acá y luego lo vas a separar $500 para el credit union, y le damos una tarjeta de débito gratis, que con eso pueden sacar dinero en cualquier 7-Eleven, o pagan $3 al mes. Entonces nosotros siempre somos
$3 al mes.
Tratar de no hacer tantos cargos.
Claro.
No queremos, es una institución que es sin lucro, entonces nosotros nos da mucho orgullo de no cobrar para cosas que son necesidades,
no son necesarias. No son necesarias. $3 puedes abrir tu cuenta de cheques, con $5 puedes abrir tu cuenta de ahorros, y si hablas y dices que miraste aquí o sabes que Gabriel Orozco, no te van a cobrar absolutamente nada. Otra preguntita para la gente que ahorita, pues, especialmente los que están en la casa, los estudiantes que están ahorita de vacaciones, y a lo mejor un estudiante quiera participar en trabajar. ¿Ellos pueden abrir una cuenta con sus papás? ¿Cómo se trabaja eso?
Sí, digamos que tienen 15 años de edad, lo ponemos a ellos, pueden venir con su papá o legal guardian, y pueden venir y abrir una cuenta, no problema. y
¿Con
ya
su ID de la escuela?
con su ID de la escuela o el papá, ¿verdad? No tiene, como no tiene licencia o ID, ¿verdad? No pedimos eso, pero con el papá sí le pedimos su documentación.
Sí.
Y ya que cumplen 18 años, ya pueden venir a nomás abrir una cuenta de ahorros. Con una cuenta de ahorros puedes agarrar tu depósito directo. No ocupas ni siquiera una cuenta de cheques en ese tiempo, porque ya nadie está haciendo más cheques. Con el número de ruta y el número de savings account, sí, ya puedes agarrar tu depósito directo. Entonces, si alguien empieza a trabajar y muchos compañías, sí, ya no quieren pagar por cheque, no, pues, ya más quieren pasar por el depósito directo. Entonces, si alguien se encuentra en esa situación, vengan conmigo y yo les abro una cuenta de ahorros gratis, sin nada de dinero fuera del bolsillo, sin cargos mensuales, y les doy su número de ruta y ya pueden entregar eso a su compañía y le pueden pagar depósito directo. La única cosa es que van a tener que venir al banco a sacar dinero en persona, pero ya que ya empiecen a agarrar sus cheques, pueden agarrar su depósito directo y la cuenta de cheques es gratis.
Y luego dicen ustedes, más hay una credit union aquí en Santana, solamente hay una sucursal. Pero también tienen las otras sucursales que es una cooperativa de cualquier otro credit union. Puedes ir a sacar dinero allí o como dijo Gabriel, en cualquier 7-Eleven que hay en cada esquina, en cualquier ciudad, puedes entrar a las ATMs que tienen ahí en las 7-Eleven y no hay ningún costo para sacar tu dinero ahí también. Esa es grandísima idea porque si andas en San Diego, si andas en San Francisco, si andas en otro estado y hay un 7-Eleven, puedes ir a sacar dinero y no te va a costar absolutamente nada, porque hay veces esas esas máquinas, te quieren cobrar $5 por sacar dinero, te quieren cobrar tanto por sacar dinero.
Exactamente.
Con esto ahí te ahorras también
sí, porque
dijeron los mexicanos, una feria.
Gran feria, porque ya cuesta que $3.95, $4 para sacar tu propio dinero. Entonces no hay razón de por qué estás pagando al banco para sacar tu propio dinero.
Claro.
Entonces por eso casi todas las cooperativas de credit, cooperativas como Credit Union, tienen ese feature, tienen ese feature. Entonces sí, gracias Luis por mencionar eso.
Claro que sí. No, está buenísimo, guys. Si ustedes quieren abrir una cuenta de ahorros para su familia, para usted personalmente, para sus hijos, por favor, aquí está el teléfono aquí abajo para que puedan contactar a mi amigo aquí, Gabriel Orozco, en la Credit Union, aquí en Santana Credit Union. Está localizada en la esquina de la Flower y la esquina de la Santana Boulevard, directamente enfrente de la corte de aquí de Santana. Ahí está la sucursal de 8 a 4, de lunes a viernes, no abren sábado y domingo, pero como les dice, si necesitan agarrar su dinerito, pueden ir a otra Credit Union o pueden ir también a cualquier 7-Eleven. Está excelente.
Y luego todos hablamos español. Entonces todos cuando vienen a visitarnos, tenemos un estacionamiento grande, parking lot que es gratis y pueden venir a visitarnos y todos hablamos español. Pueden hablar con cualquier persona para que se sientan en casa. Estamos aquí a sus órdenes.
Ahí hablan su idioma, vengan y hagan ese contacto con esta gran institución aquí en la ciudad de Santana. Y claro que pues ahí los van a atender con mucho gusto Gabriel o alguien que esté en la oficina. También otra cosita que le vamos a decir, que alguna escuela, iglesia, personas que quieran tomar unos cursos de cómo tener sus finanzas en orden, también pueden contactar a Gabriel y él está dispuesto a venir a esa institución, a esta iglesia, al lugar, a dar clases financieras de cómo trabaja todo, explicar los intereses, las tasas de intereses, explicar cómo trabaja crédito, todo eso, para que con una persona empiece a crecer su crédito, empiece a ganar su dinerito, sepa cómo mantener más dinero.
Luis, te agradezco mucho eso. Y aparte de eso, Luis, nosotros podemos ir a comprarles hasta lonche. Sí, entonces, si cualquier institución,
¿me hablas?
Compañía, sí, dígame, Gabriel, fíjate que tenemos aquí a 20 personas que quieren escuchar educación financiera. Ustedes más me hablan y agarramos una fecha. Pero yo también puedo traer lonche, puedo traer Don Jacinto Pollo Grill, algo bueno, y podemos estudiar y comer a la misma vez, y todo es gratis. Lo podemos hacer en español o en inglés, pero
o los dos.
Los dos, ¿sí? Entonces, y también cuando llego ahí, doy membresías gratis para que hagan sus cuentas de ahorros gratis, siempre sin nada, nada fuera del bolsillo. Entonces doy comida gratis y doy también cuentas de ahorros gratis y es muy fácil hacer miembro. Lo único que se ocupa es una ID, sea ya aquí de los Estados Unidos o matrícula mexicana, su seguro social y lo podemos hacer ahí mismo. Todo el proceso no dura más de un minuto.
Wow, perfecto. Y les das tu ATM tarjetita para que saquen eso.
El ATM va a venir por correo porque yo agarro la forma, la traigo para atrás con mi equipo y ellos entonces ya la procesan. Y si quieren un debit card y abrir una cuenta de cheques, se la mandamos. La primera tiene que ser mandada por correo, nomás para la protección.
Okay.
Entonces yo no estamos ahí, pero también, como dices tú, de 3 a 5 días llega bien pronto.
Llega rápido.
Llega rápido.
Wow.
Pues sí, cualquier iglesia o compañía o organización que quieran tener educación financiera, estamos dispuestos a ir a su compañía y traer lonche.
Especialmente ahorita para los estudiantes que están de vacaciones, si están interesados en, por ejemplo, tener una reunión con varios muchachos para que aprendan, pues, básicamente cómo se mueve lo del dinero, cómo es los intereses, todo eso, que muchas de las veces no los enseñan en las escuelas. Yo sé que eso no es algo, pero ya están empezando a implementar eso, que ahora puedan enseñar a los estudiantes cómo se trabaja el dinero, los tasas de intereses, y cómo es el término, y más importante, cómo mantener buen crédito.
Sí, ¿qué es el crédito? ¿Verdad? ¿Qué es el crédito? Y cómo, si no se cuida el crédito, cómo afecta muchas decisiones importantes. El crédito te va a afectar si quieres agarrar un carro, con buen crédito, te dan el carro con buen pagos, pero con mal crédito, los pagos pueden ser bien altos, vas a pagar lo doble del valor del carro a través de 5 años, por decir. Y luego también otros más te dicen que te rechazan el préstamo. Entonces, para comprar carro es muy importante tener buen crédito, pero también para rentar un apartamento, para comprar casa, es muy importante.
Checan todo.
Para ganar trabajo. Ahora, cuando aplicas para un trabajo, corren el crédito en lugar de hacer otro tipo de background check. Corren el crédito porque es más fácil. Quieren ver qué tan trustworthy you are, que a ver si eres una persona que puede manejar su dinero.
Claro.
Entonces, es muy importante enseñarles a todos, porque no importa que sean 18 o 60 años o todos tenemos que saber qué es crédito y cómo afecta acceso. ¿Verdad? Con buen crédito nos da acceso a carros, apartamentos, casas, trabajo, pero con mal crédito nos puede tener...
Sí, pues hay veces esa es la decisión que va a decidir si uno tiene buen crédito y el otro no tiene buen crédito, pueden decidir ¿sabes qué? Vamos a contratar a esta persona en vez de la otra. Wow.
Sí.
Es importante, guys. Dale tu teléfono aquí en Instagram, Gabriel. Acá abajo, guys, está en Facebook, en YouTube y en LinkedIn, pero vamos a darle tu teléfono aquí si alguien está interesado en contactarte para abrir la cuenta, para las clases financieras, cualquier cosa, dale su teléfono, por favor.
Gracias, Luis. Mi teléfono es área 657-532-9723. Y una cosa que es muy importante es de que yo siempre estoy a cargo de mis teléfonos, entonces respondo muy pronto, me pueden mandar texto o me pueden hablar y yo siempre estoy... siempre regreso la llamada, no más de que pasen 15 minutos. Es algo que trato de diferenciarme con los demás. Es de que siempre tienes un amigo aquí, tu amigo financiero.
Tu amigo financiero.
Con el Santana Federal Credit Union. Ahora tienen un amigo en el banco que pueden hablarle con preguntas, cuando quieren hablar de estrategia o que quieren traerme. Por favor, el número es, hábleme, es 657-532-9723.
Wow, mucha información para la comunidad, como siempre aquí en OC Biz Live, para que usted se aprenda ciertas cosas y haga una decisión para que sepa que ahí también obviamente está esta institución que puede ayudar a toda nuestra comunidad, que es muy importante. Pues muchísimas gracias, Gabriel.
Gracias.
Mira, ya nos echamos 50 minutos.
Wow.
Se va rápido.
Gracias.
Nomás. Es una plática entre amigos, básicamente. Es una plática entre amigos. Es lo que hacemos aquí. Básicamente algo sencillo. Vamos a platicar. Y nomás prendemos las cámaras para que la gente se dé cuenta y que obviamente sepa hacer una decisión correcta.
Luis, agradezco mucho la oportunidad y por compartir tu plataforma.
Gracias.
Y gracias a la comunidad. Sé que les dije mucha información, pero me pueden poner rewind para si me fallaron algo o me pueden hablar. Pero les doy muchas gracias por escucharnos hoy y muchas gracias, Luis, por tenerme aquí. Te lo agradezco mucho.
Claro, gracias por venir. Vamos a darles información. We're going to give you guys real quick information. Tomorrow, OC Biz is doing a ribbon cutting grand opening of Bravo Printing and IMAS. It's right here in the city of Santa Ana on 17th Street. You guys have seen the post that we've been doing on my Instagram and the other platforms. It will start at 6 o'clock. We're going to keep it kind of short because Mexico's playing tomorrow. So we're going to keep it short. We're going to do the ribbon cutting, but we will have some food, music, and I think we're going to turn it into a soccer party. So look at my Instagram and look at my platform. So tomorrow we'll do the ribbon cutting for my good friend Beatriz Mendoza. Bravo Printing's actually been around for over 30 years in the city of Santa Ana. He's relocating
to here on 17th and Cabrillo, right down the street from here. And he's opening up there. He wants to do a little shiz bang to get it going and all that. So anybody who's interested in coming by tomorrow, to just reach out and look at the post that we've been posting. Been doing it for the last couple of weeks. We've been posting it up. So come on by, say hello, shake some hands. We'll have a couple. We'll have some people bring us some certificates from the city, from the county, from the assembly, from the congressman, from the Orange County recorder. We got all those guys covered. So please come on by, say hello, and join us for the ribbon cutting with OC Biz. All right, guys. Next week, I'm gonna skip a week because next week is the wife's birthday,
Oh,
and I won't be here for a whole week. I'll still be on my phone, or you can reach out to me, but we're gonna take a little vacation. We're not gonna be here, so OC Biz Live will not be on next week. But the following week, we have some great people coming in. The Mondragon family in the city of Anaheim.
wow.
You know who they are?
I don't.
Wings of Kindness. They have a taqueria, they have a market, and this lady, Marina Mondragon, does a lot of events in the city of Anaheim. You
Okay.
can put a table there.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah, for sure.
Yes.
So I'll connect you with them.
Absolutely.
They do a lot of things. I've been out to other events. I went to the Christmas event, but they do a lot of backpack giveaways and stuff like that. And they're located in the city of Anaheim. So the whole family's coming. Someone will talk about the market. Somebody will talk about the taqueria. Someone will talk about Wings of Kindness, what they've been doing. So great family that's doing a lot of great stuff in the city of Anaheim. And we'll have them here not next Wednesday, the following Wednesday, which is July 1st, guys. We're already into July, man.
Wow.
Ya voló el año, ya se fue.
Time flies.
Time flies when we're having fun.
That's right.
That's right. All right, guys. OC Biz Live is out. We will see you guys in a couple of weeks. Thanks again for coming by, Gabriel.
You're
Let me
welcome.
disconnect and look at the shirt.
Yes.
Let go.
Let go.